Of course, if you are trying to lose weight and you haven't been living under a rock for the last couple of years, you know that, it's probably been suggested to you many times that you go on one of the new weight loss drugs, right? So Ozempic and then Mounjaro and I don't know, I don't remember the other one. I feel like there's another one. Ozempic, Mounjaro. I always keep thinking Kilimanjaro. But anyway, it probably has been suggested. I know it has been suggested to me so many times. It's even been suggested by one of my doctors. You guys in the past have met Laura, like, you know, my absolute best friend in the world. She is on it. And so it's been, you know, the question has been posed to me many times about, you know, am I considering, would I consider, am I planning on going on one of these meds? And I'm not completely closed off to the idea. I'm not completely, I'm not fully adamant that I will never go on one of these medications, but as of right now and for the last couple years, as I keep trying to do this, the answer is still no. I'm not really considering going on the medication or any of those medications right now or in the near future. And I think it goes back to the very thing that we were talking about 2 days ago with you know, the consideration of having gastric bypass. And that is, you know, before I get there, I guess, there are many reasons why doing this, sorry, my hair is getting in the way. There are many reasons why this, you know, it might not be a great idea to go on one of these medications. You know, some people are allergic and all that. The first thing for me, it was price. It is so damn expensive. It is so expensive. And I just don't have that kind of money to do it. But that's not the main consideration, I guess. Now that it's been a little longer and I've been able to do a little bit more reading about it and sort of doing my own research, I find a few things that keep me on the side of no, I won't take the medication right now. And again, this is not an argument against taking it. I think there are a lot of very good reasons to take it. I just think that it's a decision that has to be made mindfully by every single person. And so for me, it's still a no. And the main reason it's still a no is because I think that it fails to address the underlying factor that I believe is causing most of my problems with obesity. I was thinking about something that I read, and it said that like 32%, or like only 32% of people who started taking one of these meds continue taking them a year later. And people stop for a bunch of different reasons. You know, some people do it because the side effects are too extreme. Some people stop them because the cost is too prohibitive. I don't know. There are many reasons why people do it. But it's interesting to me that after a year on it, only 32% of those people who started a year before are still taking it. That's a low number. And interestingly enough, the majority of the people, if I read that correctly, the majority of those people who have taken that medication and then stopped basically gain all the weight back. And I remember thinking that, you know, when it first was suggested to me, one of the main reasons was at the time logistics. It was expensive and it wasn't that easy to get. Then there started being all those shortages and all that stuff. And since I am not in the States full time and I travel quite frequently, the logistics of procuring this medication was hard. That would have made it very difficult and very expensive. But then at the same time, And now that we have a little more data, I guess, of people who have been on it for a while, is that it doesn't address the underlying factor affecting my obesity, and that is my unhealthy relationship with food. It doesn't change that. It doesn't change. And there's, I've had extensive conversations with people. I was having a conversation with Laura recently, and she said that for a lot of people who have this difficulty, this food addiction, this sort of eating disorder, she said that for a lot of those people, it stops the chatter. The thing inside you that says, yeah, let's go for that pizza. Yeah, let's go for that cheeseburger. Yeah, let's go for that. She says that she's read a lot about people who have had that happen to them and how that would be beneficial for me. And I think it would be very beneficial for me in that sense. But what has always concerned me and continues to concern me is what happens when I stop? Or am I going to be able to be on this medication forever? Is that something that's going to happen? Will I be able to be on this medication forever? I don't know. And so I felt that perhaps finding something like this might still not help me get to where I need to get in order to become a healthier person, right? Because something that I read in one of those reports that was talking about it, one of the doctors that was writing this report, or at least was being cited in this report, said, whatever it is that you do for weight loss, you have to do it forever. That's it. Whatever it is that we need to do in order to become healthier, we have to keep doing forever. And so could you be on that medicine forever? Maybe. But then it's interesting that only a year later only 32% of people are still on it. And that causes a little concern for me. Also, most people who are on it, based on people that I've talked to and things that I've read, don't necessarily change their diets all that much. And that is also a little concerning for me, because I don't just want to lose the weight. I want to become a healthier person. I want to develop a healthy relationship with food. I want to get rid of my food addiction, or at least learn how to control it. I want to, improve my eating disorders. And so once again, it feels like this thing that almost feels like a silver bullet, like a magic pill, would not really address that. And I understand that, the argument has been made to me that it might not address it, but it might make it easier for you to be able to do it. And that is correct. And thinking about it in those terms, the closest that I've come to consider it was thinking about it in terms of it could be just another tool in the tool belt to becoming a healthier person. It could just be one more thing that I could use to be this multi-pronged approach to becoming healthier and to losing weight. And so in that sense, that's the closest that I've come to considering it. And if it were something like, I don't know, if it was a pill that was easier to get, if it was a drug that, I don't know, like maybe down the line, the way that, for example, like I take metformin, and it's cheap, it's widely available, it's not that difficult to get, it's just a pill. Like maybe something like that would be a lot easier to consider. But right now, there's still enough friction with shortages and getting it, and I know that, traveling around isn't always easy to get it. And so like that just gives enough, or it puts enough of a hurdle in front of me that perhaps I'm not willing to jump over. And so as of right now, I continue thinking that I need to work harder on the main problem, which is up here. Because I know that my body responds to diet and exercise. I've seen that happen before. We have seen it happening over the last few weeks. And so overall, I know that my body responds to diet and exercise. And so because it's still enough of a, high enough barrier to entry to using one of these drugs, I think that for now I'm staying on the side of no. And again, this is not I'm not speaking against it. I think that everyone should consider it. Anyone who needs to address weight loss, I guess weight loss, because that's what it's being used for. If you need to lose weight, there is certain consideration to be made. You should consider it, absolutely. But we're trying to be mindful about what it is, what it does, and what it doesn't do, and what has been the effect on people who go on it and then, have to get off for some reason, and then the weight comes back on. And the reason it comes back on is because those habits haven't changed. They were just being disrupted by the drug, I guess. And so for that reason, it is important for me to think about it in terms of, it's still, it doesn't address the underlying issue, and I don't want it to send the wrong message to my brain. Like somehow we've accomplished something that we really haven't, and so, yeah, right now, the drug is maybe making me not want to eat an entire pizza, it's helping with that. But the underlying issue that originally was driving me to eat an entire pizza, is that being addressed? And maybe it isn't. And so when I go off the drug, is that going to come back, with a vengeance? So at the end of the day, I don't want to trick my brain into thinking that we've solved something that we haven't and that we still have to work on. And so for that reason, mostly, I'm still saying no. And we'll see where that goes. We'll see where the technology goes, where the medicine goes, and the advancements in the drug delivery, drug availability. Is it being improved? Like, we still don't know any of those things. And meanwhile, I still need to do the real work that comes with developing a healthier relationship with food and overcoming food addictions and eating disorders and all of those things that are really causing some of the more severe problems here. So that's it. Thank you guys for hanging with me again. It's been really interesting to explore some of these subjects, and sometimes it's difficult to talk about it because as much time as I spent thinking about these topics, I don't really discuss them with anyone at length in any real way. And so I feel like I'm still finding ways to articulate my feelings on the matter, but it's interesting. So thank you. All right. See you next time.